right, this is the I Shoulda Did More Reading podcast. I shoulda did more reading.com. Tom Shattuck here with Jay. Special guest, PhilBar. First time on the podcast. Before anybody gets too far into this thing, I want you to subscribe, please, on iTunes to I Shoulda Did More Reading. And on YouTube, I Shoulda Did More Reading. You can also hear us on SoundCloud and Stitcher and Google Play and all of those things. But those two are the most important to start out with. And the YouTube one, YouTube can be a pain. I know that because it with iPhones it closes and this and that. But with iTunes, you should definitely sign up for I Shoulda Did More Reading with iTunes. And we will be churning one of these babies out at least once a week, hopefully twice a week. When I'm unemployed shortly, it could be 3 times a week. We'll see. But we want to welcome PhilBar, Philippe Jusome, to the show podcast. How are you?
Good morning, Thomas.
Phil,
Jerome,
you represent
Jay.
our only listener, so if no one's listening,
it's very
is this going to exist?
It's very rare that you could have the entirety of your listening audience in studio.
Yeah.
This is a wonderful moment.
This is very important that we keep you alive. So basically, I just need you to subscribe. So are you subscribed?
My daughter Kara is a designated survivor. So if something should happen to me, she will. Good. She's going to listen.
Just have her click on just once a week or hit refresh. And we'll see what happens. PhilBar is Jay's brother, if anybody doesn't know, and they have different last names. So don't look up Jay.
And Phil is also my brother.
My baby brother. Yeah.
All right. So let's start right away, Phil.
So before.
Go ahead.
So last time I was in front of one of these little sticky things, microphones, was 1987 at Radioactive WMWM playing Husker Du.
Oh, nice.
The Ramones, the Dead Kennedys, Sex Pistols.
Was that
semester.
at Salem State?
Salem State, yeah.
Oh, it used to be with Salem State College.
With actual records.
Make sure you're right into it.
Actual records.
That's great.
Really? You were doing that?
Yeah.
Spinning vinyl?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For a semester.
Jeez.
Jeez, so this
is
so is it like riding a bicycle? Is it all back to you?
Yeah, it's cool.
Huh.
So that was 18-year-old Phil Jusome.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was cool.
So where at that 18-year-old Phil Jusome, where did he think? How old are you, Phil? Are you 50?
I am late 40s.
You're getting further away from the microphone,
really
Phil.
Late. Really.
You're getting further away from the microphone.
51.
Okay.
So late 40s.
So what did you want to do when you were 18 years old? You're in college. You're from Lowell. If people don't know, it's the same. It's Jay's place. They're from a little modest house in Lowell. Both parents worked and made money, and they had a. It seems like exciting. The boys were mischievous, mischievous, whatever, however you say it.
Yeah.
So you find yourself at Salem State. So why did you go to college at all?
I don't know.
It's not like mom and dad.
You know what? No, I think I wanted to. I was interested in the ocean, I wanted to do something with that. I was a certified scuba diver. I was interested in marine biology, underwater.
Well, how did you get into scuba diving? Where did that all start?
So when I was at Lowell High, a friend of mine, Jim, and I don't remember his last name, he was a certified scuba diver, and he used to drive a Mazda RX-7 and keep all his equipment in the back.
Jeez.
And we used to skip class, go to his car, get all his scuba equipment, and sneak into the pool at Lowell High during classes and scuba dive in the pool.
It's a good place to hide.
So we didn't go to the diner downtown. Yeah. We threw on some scuba tanks and went.
So did you go in any other bodies of water other than the pool? I know since you had, but I mean that
before you're certified?
No. No, just that. We just skip class and go scuba diving in the pool. Which I think is frowned upon. I don't think they'll allow that, I think.
No. It wasn't the kiddie pool. It was the normal. Okay. So that's that's a different direction.
12 feet, real deep.
Good. Perfect. That's much more appropriate.
It was either the tank or a really tall snorkel I would have needed.
So anyway, so you get into this to scuba diving, and and I've done it too, and Jay's obviously done it. Are you certified?
I am certified as well.
Right?
And it is unlike anything else.
It's like being in space.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, it's as close. It's as close as being in space as you can get, I guess.
Yeah. So this you get the diving bug, and then you decide that you're going to go
do something with the ocean.
Yeah. So you go to Salem State College. Did you
for marine biology? Actually,
really?
Yeah, which kind of turned out. Yeah.
So was that interesting? Those classes?
Yeah, it was, but I don't think it's what I wanted.
It seems to me
it was more anatomy and all that stuff.
All the boring crap that you have to take.
Yeah.
And
the first 2 years
on crap.
Yeah. But the first 2 years also was just your regular courses anyways, so.
Yeah. So I think that turns a lot of people off, and also like to me personally as well, it's like musicians, a lot of people get turned off to musical instruments and kids quit and things.
Yeah.
It's because the way they teach you. So with music, I mean, you want to learn to play the guitar stuff that you like. I want to play Husker Du and those things. But when they teach you in classes, they'll teach you musical theory, and it's all algebra and crap. It's
The prerequisites are always the first 2 years.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's like taking piano lessons and playing and learning classical music for 10 years and just wanting to know how to play a boogie woogie or anything else.
Yes, having to play the scales.
Exactly.
Oh, it's terrible, and that's why I think that a lot of people just get turned off by that stuff.
Yeah.
So Salem State failed to.
No, you know what? So when I looked into what I could do for underwater photography, right? I called all these places. Brooks Institute, I think, is in California. Talked to guys that knew about it, and quickly realized there's no way that you're going to make any money, make a living off of underwater photography. So then after that, you just kind of float and
So when did you bail out of Salem State, or did you finish?
No, after my second year, I think
he was
I
asked to leave.
No, I wasn't asked to leave. I
just
made a trip to Jerome. I think I might have told a story. I made the trip to St. Thomas, a day trip to St. Croix. Looked around in St. Croix and decided, this is, I think, where I want to be.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, I think I was down there.
Really? So,
St. Croix,
so what?
That was during the
prompt-
summer.
What prompted the trip?
It was a family trip.
What year was that?
It was
You
one of the
remember?
family. Yeah, I'm going to say it was 87 or 88. 87 probably. 86, 87, right around there. 45.
Was it your mom or dad?
Summer of 86. Summer of 86, I moved there.
Who was the driver of Loving the Caribbean? Your mom or dad?
Nah, just me.
Really?
Well, our parents, we went on a cruise in 1986.
You went to Norway.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
and that was our
that's
first.
right.
That was our first.
Yeah.
And our family sort of collectively loved the Caribbean. So, and then of course we went.
Furthest we've been away at the time was Maine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you go down. So you moved down there.
Yeah, like 2 weeks later I was
And
down
how
there.
old were you? Like 21, 20 years old?
I must have been 20 or 21. I can't believe my parents let me do it, to be honest with you, including my sister, who was probably 19 at the time.
Well, they were busy at the time too. So.
I don't let my kids cross the street.
Yeah.
And
No, I
she's
know.
20.
And that is
No.
times have definitely
Oh, yeah.
changed. A 19-year-old now is.
I can't imagine letting my daughter go.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
way.
So you moved down there. Your sister moves down there. Who else goes?
No, just her and I.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. We didn't know anybody.
Jesus. So
Yeah.
So what happens when the plane lands?
So we only had a plane ticket to St. Thomas. We didn't have a way to get to.
That's great. That's
stuck.
the way to do it. I think.
Yeah, I didn't think it all out. But I was stuck at a seaplane shuttle in St. Thomas for, it was like 6 hours waiting for a seat.
And you finally on standby.
Yeah, just say I need to get to that island right there. And that was the only way, really, unless I paid money for a flight, I guess.
yeah.
But I couldn't do that. So,
Yeah.
So were you at all nervous?
Yeah, because number one, we hadn't seen the place I was going to be living in.
Yep.
That was
you
all
rented
done by
something
phone.
unseen?
Yeah, it was
Jesus.
done by phone.
You know where? If you don't mind, they lived in the cliche, the stereotypical mobile home park that you would see get destroyed by a tornado everywhere in the world.
And it has since been destroyed probably twice. It was destroyed in 89 or 90 by Hugo, which was the benchmark of hurricanes down there. And then again, more recently is Irma or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But so we didn't know. In fact, I think it was my grandmother that found an ad we had a recent newspaper from our trip down there. And she says, there's a thing here for sale, for rent for, I think it was $400 a month or something like that. So he said, I called him up and said,
isn't that ridiculous?
No, it
cheap,
wasn't. It wasn't.
I mean, so was this literally a motorhome trailer park?
Yeah, it was a trailer.
Yeah. No, I lived in one too.
It was a good trailer. The directionals worked awesome.
Yeah.
Never lost pressure in the tires.
So was it a hellhole or was it just fun?
No, it was
you don't
nice.
care. When you're 19 years old or 20 years old.
No, it was a lot of.
So you must have been thrilled to be on your own in the world.
Oh yeah.
You're young and probably.
Yeah, it wasn't the same as living away at college. This was because there's nobody there to bail you out.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's no one that's bringing me some food.
Yeah. Wow.
Because we didn't know anybody.
So what did you do for a living? What did you
We went to, let me see. Oh, so we went at the worst possible time in the summertime when tourism is dead. And for some reason, we were able to find a job in tourism at a hotel.
Ooh, doing what?
Both of us. She worked in a restaurant, and I was a bellman.
So this
Driving
is
a pink bus. Too.
Are you talking about the Buccaneer?
At the Buccaneer
Which
Hotel,
is
yeah.
like the second of the nicest hotel.
Yeah, it's
on
one
the
of
island.
the one of the nicest, one of two of the nicest hotels on the island. And Carambola being the other one, which was a Rockefeller Resort. But wow, yeah, it was a nice place.
And so, what did you do for fun?
They had this wonderful brand of beer called Old Milwaukee over there that I used to pay good money for, and cruising rum.
Yeah,
and then of course diving. Did tons of diving and.
So how much? So tell me this: how much was a gallon, a quart of orange juice, and how much was a 750 of rum?
Oh well, yeah. So it's actually cruising rum is made there, and at the time it wasn't marketed. Like I never saw cruising rum around here. Now you see it everywhere. But their distillery was there, and it was cheaper for me to buy I guess it's 750. 750 bottle of rum and a can of mango juice than it was to buy a 6 or a 12 pack of beer. It was cheaper.
And you generally cook for yourself and things?
Yeah, horribly. So we and of course we'd have to buy the cheapest food, hamburger, the cheapest hamburger that we ever bought. It was the most disgusting thing.
Probably not USDA.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. And we tried everything to kill the taste. We'd put it all in a skillet. You know how you brown hamburger?
Yeah.
But we just fill it up with ketchup just to try to kill the taste. It was awful. It was
You
so
get into
bad.
botulism or whatever else.
Oh, it was terrible.
Wasn't the most one of the great things that happened to you down there was your neighbor, your friend Mike?
Mike.
So that's
Mike
when
Fuller.
things really started coming together for you. How long when you lived there, how long did you, before you were by yourself until you started hanging out with Mike and those guys?
Oh, it didn't take us long.
Yeah.
He was our
Were
neighbor
they literally
there,
next door?
Yeah, right next door.
Did he just arrive there too?
No, he'd been there for a few years before me. He was from Michigan.
Really?
Same
And he's
thing.
still in
he was
Sunny
a
Isle?
like-minded person. He wanted to go in the Coast Guard, which I did also before college. But he was there probably 5 years before me.
Why was he still in Sunny Isle?
He's still there too. He's still there.
Well,
too.
no, he's still on the island, but why was he still in Sunny Isle, which is not the most ideal place to be? Was he still starting his business?
Same way,
or something?
he's same way. Young guy moved down there, just married,
Oh, okay.
and starting work and stuff. So
He was your big buddy down there, right?
he was my best friend down there. Great guy, taught me a lot.
So, Midwestern guy,
Yeah,
Michigan, yeah.
So
Really good guy.
you're in paradise down there. You've got a nice job, that's got a. I mean, it's not a. You weren't in the Navy SEALs or anything. So you're making a living.
I wasn't digging ditches, but it was
Right.
still.
But I mean, what do you need down there if you have all that natural beauty in rum and
No,
so did you have a girlfriend down there?
no. I had
a couple.
I had a girlfriend up here,
Right.
which I had to put out fires every once in a while when she would ask when I was coming back and kept
Right.
extending my stay.
Yeah.
Just another 2 months. Just another 2 months.
Well,
So that ended.
yeah, I would think so. They frown on that when you move away and begin a new life.
Yeah.
So
No, I was single.
you were. I mean,
Single.
what a great time that is.
So yeah, it was awesome. Best
You
time.
have, and when you're that age, you don't give a. There's not
Exactly.
anything else that you care
No,
about.
you know what? You're still stupid too at that age. So
Nice and stupid.
yeah,
Yes.
you are. I was.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah, but
So
then
how long did you stay?
it was probably about a year.
And why did you come back? I mean, could you ever think about that now? Do you ever
Well,
think?
my sister moved back,
Right.
and I don't know why I moved back.
Yeah.
Well, I know why I moved back. I mean, I lived down there for about 6 months as well after Phil.
Were you asked to leave?
yeah. I did do a few things that I regret now. But anyway, down there. But we were down there 6 months. But I do know that the island does fulfill our sort of romantic notion of living on an island and having that fulfilled. But it does not provide you with the cultural and the city mainland, whatever that has to offer. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
It does, but that wouldn't have bothered me. I could have stayed there. I like the low key.
so you ran out of money then.
I ran out of money. No, I don't know how I survived. I didn't need much money because, I was still able to go out all the time. I wasn't making a ton of money.
Right.
geez, I don't even know what my pay was, but I'm sure it wasn't a lot.
Oh, I'm sure, but it was enough to have fun, and that's all really.
Yeah.
At that age, I mean, who cares?
I was buying some food, and I didn't have a car, so
right.
You scuba dived a lot?
Yeah, but you didn't have to pay for that, just for air.
Sailing?
Boating, not sailing.
Yeah.
I don't think I went out on a sailboat.
Oh, yeah.
I did a couple times, but it was mostly like sport fishing boat.
Oh, okay. He had the
my friend Mike.
Then?
Yeah, he had he did some sport fishing, which was fun. That was a ball. Tourists were paying $600 to go out there for an afternoon, and I was going out there with them for just
awesome.
Just for
what kind
giggles
of
and
fish?
for marlin and wahoo and barracuda and all the sport fishing. He's a highly regarded fisherman down there. I think he holds a couple records.
Yeah,
Really?
in Puerto Rico, you think one of the largest sailfish in that area.
Yeah, he's a highly sought after guide.
He also has he's partners with someone, I believe, for a business called Rooftops and Pool Works.
Pool
right?
Works, he does pools. He does them all up and down the Caribbean. He does them in the BVIs.
Really?
How brilliant is that,
done,
though?
He's done well for himself.
I mean, think about it. You're in the Caribbean, Rooftops and Pool Works, hurricanes and pool. I mean, it's
See,
just,
he went into pool business, and I went into the snowmobile business, which shows you he was much better.
It is interesting
he
how
had better business smarts than I did.
Yeah, it is interesting how that works. After Hurricane Bob, I think hit. Hurricane, the one that destroyed Florida. What was that?
Andrew?
It's like Irma or
that
something.
Andrew?
maybe, yeah. That was a big one.
The huge one.
Yeah.
My close my close circle of drinking buddies in Winchester all went down and got jobs roofing.
Oh yeah, that's what.
Did they come back and show you a wad of cash or something like that, or afterwards?
They were gone for. I mean, I didn't catch up to them for years.
I wonder.
Generators.
Yeah.
After the storms, that's the business you want to get into.
Yeah.
Ship generators down there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, that's fun.
You see them going through.
So that's a perfect life down there, and then you decide to move back. Sometimes, being at that age too, sometimes you just want to change the channel.
Absolutely.
That's not as if St. Croix was going anywhere, right?
Yeah, no, I wasn't glad to leave. I don't know why I was forced. I wasn't forced to leave or anything like that. I didn't. But Celine had moved back, so maybe I thought, it was time. Because I was there alone for a little bit. I still have my friends and stuff, but
yeah.
So
when's the last time you've been back? So you left in 98, 97? And then you didn't go back for
87 or 88, I forget.
Then you didn't go back for how many years?
Oh, I went back a couple times.
Oh, you did?
I visited you down there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Went with my wife a couple times.
Okay.
Brought the kids down for the first time a couple years ago, which was fun. They wanted they were sick and tired of hearing, this is what happened here. This is what happened here.
Yeah.
You know what happened here?
The lost weekend? No. It's all right.
No, I didn't discuss the lost weekend.
What was the last weekend, Phil?
I was just absent for a while. My sister was wondering where I was. I was with a group of people. And interestingly enough, I found myself in, so we went out on a Friday night, and that Sunday morning, I woke up in Maureen O'Hara's house. I don't know if you know who Maureen O'Hara is from the
30s?
Yes, a lot of John Wayne movies.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, I ended up in her house. She has a beautiful home overlooking the harbor over there.
Were you romantic with Maureen O'Hara? Were you?
It was a late December, early April.
Actually, wasn't she in the Money Pit? Wasn't that Maureen O'Hara?
She did some more recent movies too. Yeah, she died not too long ago, I think.
So how did you end? Do you not know how you?
No, I do.
Because you said Friday night, and then we're at Sunday. So
I do.
The flight data recorder needs to be recovered for this. So
luckily, there's no timestamps on any of these stories.
So you're in her mansion. Was she home?
No, she wasn't home.
Right.
But so I woke up. I was there with somebody else, and when I was roaming the house, I saw these pictures of what I assumed were famous people.
This person's a big Maureen O'Hara fan.
Yes, and John Wayne. Yeah. There were a lot of John Wayne pictures around.
This is going to be the title of this podcast.
Yeah. So I looking around, and I asked, whose house is this? And she goes, this is Maureen O'Hara's house. So apparently she was a like a caretaker. She had a downstairs apartment type thing. So
right.
But Celine was on the lookout for me, and
this is before cell phones. So when you're gone back then, you're just gone.
Yeah, no cell phones.
Until you weren't gone anymore.
Yeah. No, someone from the hotel
spotted you.
Asked her.
It's good to be spotted. Small island.
Let her know that they did spot me in the back of a Jeep going down the center of town with a bunch of people on Saturday. So as of Saturday around 2 or 3, I was still alive.
So that's
okay. Reasonable, good health.
So Maureen O'Hara did. She did Rio Grande, Miracle on 34th Street,
No,
The
but what's
Parent
the
Trap,
famous one?
McClintock.
No, what's the one? The one that was filmed in Ireland. Well,
she's from
The Quiet
Ireland.
Man, I think it's called.
Oh, okay, with
Right?
John Wayne.
With John
yeah.
Wayne.
That's right.
Yeah, it was an awesome movie.
Yeah, but recently in the 80s,
I know, I
was she
couldn't
the old
find
woman
anything.
in Money Pit?
I didn't
She
see
was.
that.
She did some popular movies more recently. But she was a great looking gal in her day.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of
Beautiful
those.
redheaded woman. She was very pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, you're very discerning on which houses you squat in during
I was
post blackout.
Unfortunately, I was about 40 years late.
Yeah.
Well, there's only 50,000 people on the island, so
Yeah.
I mean.
So anyway, it all ends up fine. Is there any
fun.
other? Is that all that we know about the Lost Weekend? Oh, so it was literally a
All you
Lost
can-
Weekend.
Yeah, it was just.
So you don't have the information that we need.
You know what? It was all caused, I believe, by Jägermeister,
Yes.
which I had never tried before, and.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
That's this is all he's going to tell us because he still has to go home in about an hour. So.
I still have to look
face his kids.
Yes.
and wife.
I have to look them in the eye when I leave here. You know, I can't be staring at the floorboards of the car the whole drive home.
Isn't that interesting to think that there are a lot of other people who know what you did for that 48 hours very well? I mean, chances are everybody survived.
No, it was just a going out and about and not coming home for 2 days.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure has happened to other people.
I've done it. You've done it.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
all done it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yours
Yours is just more famous than others. That's all.
well, it was fun. It was good.
So anyway, so you come back to for one thing we've missed, by the way, is it used to box
A little bit.
a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you?
Well, I
little
say a
bit.
little bit. I did when I was younger. When
You were very good for a while.
middle school and I think till I went to college. Yeah, till I went to college. So from like middle school to the end of high school.
So did you have aspirations of being a boxer?
No,
Or you just
no,
wanna get
no,
in
no.
shape,
That was
or you just want to learn to beat people
No, I
up?
was just in shape and it was fun.
Yeah.
He used to train
Yeah.
with Arthur Romalo, who is the owner of the West End gym where Mickey Ward used to train. In fact,
Yeah, he used to be
Phil
in the gym,
used to spar with him.
Sparred him a couple
Tell me if
times.
I'm correct with that. Yeah.
Yeah, he beat the snot out of my ribs.
Because
Still sore. Still sore. He's the godfather. Mr. Romalo is the godfather in New England era of boxing. He's trained all kinds of people. He's still there. He's 80-something years old.
Wow.
Went to the fights with my son a couple weeks ago, and he's still there ringside. And he's not training, but he's there. But yeah, it was just for. I think my father encouraged me.
yeah, so you were beating up on guys much older than you. Did you several times? You met some pretty famous boxers.
Taking a couple naps too.
Carmen
though.
Basilio.
Carmen Basilio, yeah.
and,
Willie Pep, I think was his name.
Willie Pep, and then the other story I remember, if you can tell it, is the reason why you
Should we vet these stories before you brought
The
up?
reason why you sparred with Mickey Ward was why.
Well, so the trainer was telling me to keep my elbows down, which I couldn't do. And I had a habit or something. I kept raising my elbows. Sorry. So he took the guy that I was sparring out, took Mickey Ward. Now we were young. We were probably 17 years old at the time, and told him to go in there. And he was famous for
Body
beating
blows.
us.
Body blow. Body blow.
Body blows. Yeah, really, really. So he told him to go in there. Told him to pay special attention to my ribs.
That's
That
nice.
was
Which he
nice
did.
of him to look
Yeah, he
after
did.
you like that.
He was diligent. He was nothing if not diligent.
Nice.
Yeah, they were so sore.
So
It
he
was
wore
terrible.
himself out on your ribs.
Oh yeah, I tied him out. Yeah, that was just for getting in shape, and that was for my father though. That was my father.
Have you done anything as excruciating as that? I've heard that
No.
it's the test of a man. I mean, every
Well, no,
last
so
bit of
it's
you. Exhausting.
it's a 2-minute or 3-minute round, right? But especially when you're losing, it feels like it's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're getting the snot beat
And
out
there's
of you.
nowhere to go. And you see,
Nah,
the clock moves slow.
you can cower in a corner,
Yeah.
or you can be lucky and take one hit and take a nap on the floor for.
I would make my shorts just one giant white towel. That way we can pull it off at any point. Anyway.
Yeah, no,
So anyway, how does that wind up? How do you leave boxing?
that's just moving on in life. Going. I think I went to school is what it was. I moved away to Salem,
All right. So then we go to back from you moved back here, and where did you move to when you got back from St. Croix?
Well, I think I lived home. I lived home for a short period of time before I started work.
Right.
Because I didn't.
So what did you want to do, or did you not know what you want to do?
I didn't know. You know what?
Yeah,
My father's the one that told me to go and apply at UPS, which I didn't want to do.
How long ago was that?
It'll be 30 years.
Jesus. Do you know how many people do you know
30 years,
at
I
the
know.
company for 30 years?
No, a couple were at where I work at the Boston Herald.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anne Marie also. Anne Marie's been at her job.
Wow.
My wife, 30 years.
So
We both had the same job
Right.
for combined almost 60 years.
Jeez.
So
That's
did
disgusting
you,
now.
Did you have a girlfriend when you started at UPS?
No, that's when I met my wife when I started at UPS, just about that time.
Right. Okay. So then,
Yeah.
then it's because it's absolutely a steady job.
Yeah.
And it's not going anywhere, and you know there are benefits. You can make a good living from UPS.
Yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's a job.
Yeah.
You know, and the weather doesn't care. You know.
Yeah, no. I was out there yesterday. It kind of
Well, okay.
stunk. That was awful.
And what was she doing then?
Who?
Well, I guess your girlfriend at that
then?
point, Anne Marie.
She was a intern in college at Lowell General doing X-ray
Okay.
tech, which is where she still works. She was there during college as an intern, and then got a job there. And she's still there.
Oh,
It's been a long time.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Usually people move from job to job.
I know
and
now.
Yeah. So I was just having beers this a few days ago with a guy named Dan McKenna, who's a bellman at the Parker House, and he's been there since the 70s, and he was there when I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
It's weird now, isn't it?
It's
People move from jobs to jobs.
Oh, it's
and-
weird. Yeah, no, totally. But one of the things that we talked about was that would be a challenge is having a new batch of new people come in and having the repetition. They all say the same thing. They
Yeah.
all are going to do it a different way. They're all,
Yeah.
you
They're
know,
all pumped up a little bit in the beginning.
exactly. And
annoying.
they know better and they're whatever. And it's certainly in hotels. That always happens.
Oh yeah.
But so
So you so what I basically did is traded the not the comfort, but the knowing that I had a job for 30 years now, rather than of course there's some times that I probably thought of, I'd like to try this, I'd like to try that, but the comfort of knowing that
Yeah. You still
Yeah.
have tenure.
yeah, you
It's
know,
there. Yeah.
so the longer you stay, the harder it is to try to do something else, which
That's true. Indeed. You get, especially as you get older, you don't want to reacclimate yourself to new environment.
I
and people.
admire that, and people that do that, then just go from one place and then they'll say, you know what, I'm going to do something else. I think that's great.
You work hard though, Phil. How many hours do you work a week during Christmas, before Christmas, between Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Yeah, it's like 60 hours.
Yeah.
No, you say everyone thinks they
Driving.
work. No, I was talking to a guy yesterday in the elevator, right? It was the end of my day. And everyone thinks they work hard, right? You probably, after a long day, you probably think,
I do
this
not.
job, this is awful. So yesterday, it was pouring rain.
Yeah.
And I was done. It was like 5:30, and I'm in an elevator with this guy turns out he's from Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I said, you almost done? And he says, no, I'm just starting. I said, So he starts at 6 a.m. He finishes up at 5. Then he's a chef at this office building. Then he trades in his chef hat for a vacuum cleaner and vacuums the floors,
Wow.
10th floor building.
Jeez.
And then he takes an hour and a half. He says, I got an hour and a half commute home.
Jesus.
I'm thinking he lives in, this is how there's people
Yeah.
out there that work hard.
Yeah.
So he works all those hours, then he has an hour and a half commute home, and I'm thinking, he lives in Portsmouth, or he lives someplace far. He lives this is in Andover, he lives in Lawrence. He takes 2 buses home.
Jesus.
It's an hour and a half for him to
Where's
get home.
this guy from? Not
So
the United
that's a guy-
States. Is he?
No, he's from Lawrence. He's a Spanish and
Yeah.
super nice Spanish guy.
I would-
from Lawrence. And right, so I'm thinking, he's busting my ass today, and it's cold. And this guy is doing the same thing. He's working longer.
Yeah.
He's got an hour and a half commute.
Jeez, we should start a fundraiser for this dude. I mean,
No,
really.
he's hustling.
he's probably
buses.
absolutely. He's
Yeah.
probably making a whole lot of cake and having all sorts of.
Or maybe, it's true.
This is great. I mean, when I started at hotels, I worked with guys from Guyana, and they would love all the OT. And eventually, we worked like 102 hours in a week, and they were thrilled.
That's
and they
crazy, huh?
Yeah, but all the money they made, they loved it. They felt. I mean, that is exactly what built a country. Is
Yep.
hungry people.
Those people work hard, man.
Yeah, that is.
It's possible that he really, really enjoyed his bus ride home. No, really, maybe that was his time.
2 buses, an hour and a half to go to the next town.
Yeah,
I'm sure he lived on maybe the other side of Lawrence, but I was thinking, man, God bless him. Good for him.
Yeah,
indeed.
Right?
And that's a great. Probably another thing that you did having that job is stability as well. So
that's the word I'm looking for. Is stability.
So you got married fairly young, I think, right?
No, not really. 30.
Were you 30?
Yeah.
Jeez, what year
30,
was it?
29 or 30. Are you seriously going to ask what year I got married? And then my wife's going to listen to this?
96.
Yeah.
95 or 96?
96.
How was I not invited?
You don't seem too sure about that.
I know. Damn it. Why do you ask me
You
that?
were invited, I think.
No, was I?
No,
I don't know.
No, I wouldn't have if I were
I don't know if I knew you that well then.
No, you did. That's why I wasn't invited. You made it very clear.
Were you in Boston? Were you living in Boston then?
Yeah, he was always living around,
Yeah.
With
Yeah, I was here too.
Walter and
Jessica,
Jessica and Diane, they lived there?
I slept on their floor mostly.
Okay, maybe I didn't know you.
No, we did. Sorry.
Maybe
Phil.
my wife knew you. Maybe that's why.
I think so. So that's interesting. One more thing about the job is, do you like people? Do you like?
Oh yeah, so that guy that I met in an elevator.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. I just love hearing other people's stories. Because
This is why you're bringing a package up or
there.
something?
What's that?
This is why you're bringing a package up or something?
Yeah, I was finishing up. He was going up. I was going down in the elevator. But I can do that all the time. When Amory and I travel, or we go someplace, or even if we're just going to Boston or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You have a lot of relationships with the people you drop off packages with?
Yeah.
And people swoon over you sometimes?
Aren't people interesting, their stories?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
Right?
Yeah, no, totally.
Where they come from, what they've done?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going this at an angle of when you were in the hotel business and how you sort of despise? Okay.
No, well, no.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, there's some of that where, but I was miserable. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Well, the people at my hotel they're on vacation, so that's probably a different story than the people that going to a hotel in Boston, right?
But you've got to. You can't do something for that long and hate it. There's no way. So I mean, that's why I asked if you like people.
With my job from I'd say December to right about now, pretty much sucks. Right? Cold.
Weather's crap.
Yeah. But man, I'm telling you, when the weather changes and you're outside and it's beautiful,
Are you left alone?
Yeah.
That's a huge thing too. Is you're out there alone, nobody's bothering you.
A radio.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Tom and Michael Graham on 96.9 before.
Is it true that if you get in an accident, you're fired immediately?
No.
Okay.
No.
He can attest to that. There's a long arbitration process, and may or may not be continuing at this moment.
There's some crying involved, a little bit of begging. There's pictures of my kids, and I usually present a mortgage statement.
So you think about that. You think about that. I mean, that is quality of life stuff. Like, I think about what you just said. And I used to deliver pizzas when I was living in my trailer park. I delivered pizzas and subs for this company. And we'd have to deliver them. Some places were miles away. This is middle of Kentucky, so some places were miles away. I'd have to drive on these dirt roads
pizza?
And subs. Yeah, dirt roads past tobacco farms, etc. And I had AM radio. Listen to Rush and Handy, all those guys, whatever, and like Coca-Cola. And it was the greatest thing in the world. It was like, what was better than that?
Yeah.
To get to enjoy yourself and drive around and look around and
then everything comes crashing down when you actually meet the person that you have to deliver the pizza to.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I was making $2.50 an hour, and most people didn't tip. So that was that was the trailer park.
That's $2.50 an hour. I made that at working at Benson's Wild Animal Farm, and after 3 years, left there making $2.51 or $2.52.
Very nice.
I was moving up.
You better look at foundmoney.com and see if there's anything left in there from Benson's Wild
Well, the problem was going from $2.50 to $2.52 an hour was
which was a different tax bracket.
It goes right to your head too. Right.
You start spending on stupid things. Laffy Taffy.
The Memphis Mafia you had around you. Cornbread.
It's good because the gold necklaces can get expensive and
nice.
$2.52,
nice.
$2.50 an hour. You were making that too?
Yeah.
$2.50? Great, huh? Money.
Yeah. Yeah, and I delivered to the military, so the enlisted guys were cheap as hell. They would never tip.
Oh yeah.
But the officers would tip when they got paid, and they got paid twice or once a month. So that's
yeah.
the day that you want to get called.
Busy.
Yeah,
Yes.
for the
Okay.
officers. And then I'd come home with like $11, and then I had bragging rights.
And you used to listen to AM radio, you said?
Oh, yeah.
Was not the best.
Best thing in the world.
So when I was at Salem, I used to, I didn't have a TV, so I listened to the radio a lot, but the music got old quick. So I used to listen to, I think it was BZ. It was WBZ, and I used to love it. I used to listen to Norm Nathan,
Of course.
Larry Glick before him.
Yeah.
Rob Raleigh, I think, was
Bob
another
Raleigh.
guy.
It's funny because
I
I
don't
was
know if
going to mention something about a Bob Raleigh quote I brought from here to talk to you about, which I'll get to. Bob Raleigh, Dave Maynard was on BZ then.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave
Jess
Maynard.
Kane was somewhere. He was on maybe HDH.
I would listen mostly late night, so it was those guys, Glick,
Yep.
Norm Nathan. I remember driving down to Florida with Anne Marie, my wife, and being in, I don't know, South Carolina and getting BZ and being psyched because we were driving through the night and we had, I think it was Norm Nathan or something. And I remember her and I both driving, laughing out loud, listening to them or whatever topic they were talking about.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Norm Nathan was an old jazz guy, and he was so. Remember how he would just call payphones?
Oh, yes. It was
Crazy
awesome.
people would answer.
He was
and
fantastic.
He mess with him. He was that kind of talk radio. I miss that a
There's
lot.
nothing like that, I don't think, anymore,
No.
right?
Yeah, and that's back when BZ would also play music too.
And
So-
he passed, right? He's passed
Yeah.
a long time ago.
she wrote for the Herald actually. Norma was the inside track, I think, right? Or the
Oh, yeah.
equivalent.
And then who was the other guy that died also?
Maynard, Dave Maynard.
No.
So
I
there's
forget his name. Okay.
So what you had on this is just BZ.
I used to listen to just BZ mostly.
BZ had they had
When
they
I
had
wasn't
David
listening to-
Brudnoy at
David
night.
Brudnoy was the other guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he died too.
Yeah, Lavelle Diet died too.
Oh, really?
Remember he used to do weekends?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Lavelle
Wow.
Diet died.
He had that deep voice, man.
And,
Yes.
he was great. Lavelle was great, and Peter Mead was on for a while.
Peter Mead.
He's alive. He does.
he
He
is?
reps people. Please, political guy.
Rob Raleigh?
Bob Raleigh.
Is he still alive?
I believe so. Bob lives in Burlington. I actually crazy. My
Really?
mother. Yeah. Bob Raleigh had somebody on whose kid didn't have a Christmas present or something. So my mother convinced me to virtue signal and to give the boy give the kid my bicycle.
Oh, really?
So I gave him it was a Barracuda, a Ross Barracuda bicycle. I gave it to the kid, and Bob Raleigh had me on, and of course I was terrible,
really?
and gave me a Glick University T-shirt and Bob Raleigh pen and all this other. Oh yeah. So
Larry-
Bob Raleigh actually said something, and this is the thing about him that was interesting because are you taking classes now?
I just finished, but this was just for an associate's because I only need a couple classes to get an associate. I don't need it. I didn't need it, but I figured
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
So
Just have it.
you're getting your college degree now.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is what you just said to me,
I just
actually, I
finished. No, I just finished my last math class, and that's how all it is now is just to pick up the diploma.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, and it reminds me of something that Bob Raleigh, remember he used to have some callers sometimes who would say he'd get it I remember a couple of young guys calling and saying, I do this, I don't really like my job, I want to do something professionally, whatever. And in the Bob Raleigh saying, well, you should go to college, and the kids were in their 20s and they said, I don't want to graduate at 30 years old. Because back then when you're 25
of course,
or 24,
yeah.
30 is ancient, whatever.
Yeah.
And Bob Raleigh had a great line. He always used to say, well, in 5 years, you're going to be 30 anyway. So do you want to do it with a degree or without the degree?
Yeah, that's good.
So I thought it was a good way to put it. So it's also, so what are you going to do with this degree? So you're going to
nothing.
reinvent yourself or
No, nothing.
Well, aren't
don't
you
think so.
you're building surfboards now, right? Is that
do
that
that
degree
for-
gonna help with that?
No. So I've been at work for 30 years. I'm 51, and I can stay there for however many more years, 4, 5, 10,
Yeah.
and then I'm not going anywhere. So
It was just something you wanted to finish that
Yeah.
you thought, yeah, that's great.
yeah. I just saw that I needed a couple courses to do it,
Yeah.
so I figured, I'm just do it. So
Yeah.
just to have it and cross it off.
And where did you finish up at Salem State again?
No, Middlesex, right in town, right? Not too far. I did it. Did I do it online? I did it online with the help of my daughter, who's a math whiz. I would have never been able to do
Who's
it.
now going to Salem State?
Right.
Yeah, she goes to Salem State.
will not be moving to St. Croix.
No, hell's no.
So
You will now.
Isn't that interesting? Like, you took a little time off from college.
Yeah,
There's a big gap there.
I took a long backpack.
I took a gap year, gap decade or two.
Wait, isn't that
I wanted
interesting?
to explore what
40 years of finding himself.
Yeah. I mean, but all that
30.
like life you've done living in that time has been remarkable.
Yeah, but it did not help me a lick in figuring out quadratic equations, though.
Yeah, but those don't even exist. I mean, who cares about any of this stuff?
No, I have yet to have to add 2 letters
Yeah.
in life.
Believe me, I've already my daughter's in first grade, and already the math, now the way they do it now,
It's
know, I don't
completely
understand it.
different.
it's yeah,
So even when your kids are young, they're
Yeah.
in
first grade, second grade, first
okay.
grade is the
So
oldest one.
even when they get up to 8th grade and you still know the math that they're doing, you still can't help them out because
Yeah.
it's completely whacked how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is part of that big Common Core or something. Is this?
Yeah,
Is
it's
this-
terrible.
Yeah.
And you know what else? My kids don't know how to write cursive basically because they do it for 1 year.
yeah.
And that's it. So they don't write cursive. Remember, I think we all used to have to write everything cursive, right?
You should know
Yeah.
it.
But we
But
learn cursive every year.
Yeah, we should know it, but you really aren't going to need it.
No.
We're not going to need pencils soon. You kidding me?
And I don't even think they do remember you used to diagram sentences, put the line
Oh, yeah.
with the verb and all. I don't even think they
Yeah.
do that anymore
Yeah.
either.
No,
We're
I
old.
wouldn't be surprised, and I do think that kids should definitely. I mean, I guess there's no reason for them to learn how to do a lot of things like that. It would be nice. I mean, if ever the power goes out, does anybody have the skill set to survive? Seriously,
That's a
Phil.
good
So
point.
your kids probably pretty much have never lived without the internet.
No.
I mean,
No.
Right.
97 is my oldest. She was born in 97.
Yeah.
So that was at the beginning, right? So when she was able to basically go on a computer at, 4 or 5 years old, we were probably starting the thick of the internet, right?
That would be great if we can get some kids in here who are, talking.
I was gonna say-
about.
Part of your improvement, your self-improvement, should be having millennials in here one day with you to, tell you that it's not called Instagram, it's called the gram, things
Yeah.
like that.
That was my
things
mistake.
that you need in life.
I know. I agree. That's
Get
what
a millennial in this
Yeah,
seat.
exactly.
Phil's daughter Kara yelled. I laughed at Jay this morning as we were on the way here. Scoffed at him and with disrespect and disdain because he called it Instagram. But that is,
I said the Instagram too.
That is.
Yeah, I put this on the Instagram, and she looked at him like he had 2 heads.
So what do
We
you
call it the gram.
What do these kids? What do your kids do better than we did, and what do they do worse?
Better.
Should we-
God, I don't know. I think with 3 kids, they're all a little different. So I can
Yeah.
tell you that one is more self-motivated than I ever was. That
Yeah.
would be Kara. I mean,
Yeah.
and even my other daughter, my middle child.
Well, your kids do 1,000 sports, right?
Yeah,
And your sister's kids do 1,000 sports.
yeah, they do.
And at least Loic's one daughter does a whole lot of.
It's
Yeah.
funny because when our kids were very little and we had older in-laws that had older kids and they were doing the same thing, going to hockey games and
Yeah.
traveling everywhere. And my wife and I would look at each other and say, "Look at that! They're ruining their weekends. We're never
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
do that." Next thing you know, I'm taking 17-hour drives with my daughter for soccer
Right.
in North Carolina.
Jeez.
But what my father used to say is, what was that line? More time on the court, less time in court.
Yeah. That's a great saying.
That is great. Actually.
Keeps them busy.
Yeah.
That's a great saying, and also, and I think that's huge. And that goes to what we were saying about the kids in the internet. Is it forces them to do real human things? You're forced to run and play soccer and and try to get past the fullback and try to get a goal and do corner kicks and all that stuff is real analog stuff. There's
analog
nothing that's
stuff,
computer about that,
Yeah,
and
you
it's
have to
team mates, and you can F it up for the team.
Yep.
And you're if you play baseball and you're pitching into your kid, you can blow that game and have that guilt for that whole time.
Finds you.
Yeah, there's a lot of valuable life lessons in playing sports,
Absolutely.
whether you're good or bad. Someone was talking, I don't remember who was telling me this, that when they do a lot of hiring, and they were saying that they love hiring kids out of college that played sports. They would take that over anybody any day because I guess they're better at time management.
Management, maybe even just.
So I think that's because, number one, you're taking classes, you have practice, you have games, so you're forced to, prioritize when you're doing studying, when you have to make it to practice. I'm assuming that's
right.
That's why, but
that makes sense. No, indeed. Plus, just the fact that they're putting the device down for any period of time now is a huge success, and it's sad to say, but my gosh.
I know that's been such a game changer, hasn't it? The phones and iPads and everything.
Yes,
completely. I think it changes, like social interactions and kids how comfortable they are.
I can go on and on about it. I do know that you see people on their phone on the bus or whatever, but that used to be a book. But the thing that which is fine, same thing. Almost, I guess. But I mean, walking down a street, going through a light with your head in your phone, things like that, or interacting, with a phone while you're looking back and forth. I mean, all that stuff bothers me very much.
The bad part of it is the losing yourself, right? While everyone's around you.
Exactly.
So like as a family, I'm talking about as a family, right? Yeah. So, your wife and your kids are there, but one's on one thing, one's on another thing. So you're losing a little bit of that.
I think that's what the kids are not. That's one of the things that they fall behind on. If we're getting back to your question.
I mean, there is, especially like with video games and things. I mean, there is a field of video games, and people do make money there.
I know.
Have you watched Twitchy?
No, I've heard of it.
It's incredible. It's incredible. You wouldn't think.
Is this the thing where people play games and people watch them play games?
You go on and watch people play games, and there's moderators, there's people, there's guys.
You're listening.
There's announcers talking about what's going on and talking to each other about interplay, and it's fascinating, and they're entertaining. It's hugely compelling.
So it's basically...
I watch a show that it's a third-party show that talks about the Twitchy. So it's 3 layers down. It's the guy who talks about the guys talking about the guys talking about the show.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, well,
there will be that though soon.
I'm sure there is.
What's the game that your son liked? That little with the blocks?
That's called Minecraft. Minecraft is right.
Nick.
I'm gonna have to say,
I don't get
that
it.
particular game though teaches a lot of things.
Oh, I didn't get it. I would watch my son do it, and I go, "What is up with that? How is that interesting?" Same thing with watching the Twitchy thing. It's basically watching people talk about playing a game, a video game.
Yeah. And the other thing that's huge with the younger kids is YouTube and all these toys and things. Unwrapping toys. You don't see this, Phil, but it's for my daughter.
What do you mean, online?
Yeah, they watch
on YouTube. They watch these people unwrap toys, kids' toys.
So, for example, a Lego set.
A Lego set. Legos would be not traditional Lego set.
Right.
Maybe Lego Batman or something.
It's
all the dumbest.
The specialized Lego collections.
It's all the dumbest things, but LOL Surprise is a new one. And it's called, and this is these dolls that come out of these big eggs. It's all crap. The toys suck and they're terrible. And my daughter says, "Oh, that's just like prankster from LOL Surprise." And she says LOL Surprise so quickly, it's so burnt into her head.
So they watch people open gifts.
Yeah, and then
put it together.
Kids, it's a total stupid inane thing. Yeah. But my worry is this, and the same with video games, is that they're plugged into this thing, and their value system is influenced by this thing.
Man, it's like raising a generation of voyeurs.
Yeah,
right?
but
interesting. Yeah.
But if your kid's watching on this thing for 4 hours a day, that's
I've never heard of that.
4 hours.
Yeah.
That voyeur
that's bizarre.
Thing,
yeah, that's now. Yeah.
But that their whole structure system of what's good, what's bad, and why Prankster's in trouble, or why Anna and Elsa suddenly are there for some reason with it, and it's. I think it's dangerous. I think it's like, but we do it. Sally watches this stuff.
I don't know.
Wow. Huh?
I do see that when I go over your house, Tom, that you insist that they watch the classic cartoons.
Boomerang. That on Boomerang
Station, which has like Tom and Jerry and all that stuff.
Where people get where Elmer Fudd shoots the rabbit.
Oh, it's fantastic. I took a road
in the head.
I took a road trip with Nicholas, and I loaded Yogi Bear. Huckleberry Hound on my iPod, and he watched it the whole ride up. It was fantastic.
It's wonderful.
Any cartoon where you're destroying people with dynamite is phenomenal.
Or as Jay just
It's a
said,
win.
and they shoot each other in the head at point blank range.
I've seen the duck actually blow his bill off to the other side of his head.
That's right.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
That's awesome.
He was able to slide it back around, luckily.
I always think that and Will likes Wile E. Coyote. I always think that he's going to think that jumping off a cliff is fine.
Yeah, I know somebody who
Or mistaken
done that.
bird seed
Not
for
with
gunpowder, or vice versa.
Well, yeah, and if you can paint a train tunnel, then a train could come through.
I'm just going to say this. One of my favorite cartoons. I like cartoons late until I was early teenager. I always love them. But anyway, a Mighty Mouse, and then within the Mighty Mouse half hour, there was Diaper Man, Rope Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite half hours of all time.
That
That's
was-
all I'm saying.
Do you? How old are you?
I'm 45.
Okay. So do you remember Banana Splits?
Of course.
Oh,
Na, na, na,
Gulliver's,
na, na, na.
Gulliver's Travels, and
yeah.
those are the best.
Fantastic.
And there was
Afternoon,
some
3:00.
That was, and it's weird because even back then, Banana Splits looked aged, was kind of pixelated. And
Yeah,
and
the colors were like
was a little off, and there was some weird stuff there. Oh, remember Land of the Lost?
Oh
Chaka?
yeah, the
that.
Slee Stacks.
Yeah.
Scary.
I
They
love
scare the
it.
crap out of me,
Totally.
man.
Chaka with his little chomp. Weird. There was a weird time because that was post psychedelic.
Yeah, the
time,
guys
but-
that produced that show,
Yeah.
that sat down and did the storyboards for that, must have been high as a kite.
Absolutely, the puffin stuff. I mean, just puffin stuff.
We're gonna call these guys Slee Stacks.
Remember New Zoo Review
Oh yeah.
with Henrietta Hippo?
Yep. Oh god.
That was weird
Yeah,
time.
I saw
man.
it, but I didn't get it.
No. Also,
was
were
weird.
you guys made to watch the red balloon in school?
No, is
I
that
don't think so, no.
You remember the red balloon?
no? Is that like David and Goliath, a Sunday morning cartoon thing?
It might as well be, but it's even crazier. It's this French film. It's all in French, and we were made to watch it in elementary school, and it's from 1959. So weird post.
Oh, it's
wow.
Cold
World
War
II.
thing.
Yeah.
Old Warrior.
No. Nobody knew what it was about, but a girl chases a red balloon around, and it was weird. It's one of these things where you wonder. Thank God you have the internet, because you wondered. I wondered through my 20s with other people, like, did anybody else here? Were you made to see that? Just like remember the Star Wars Christmas special?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
So there's a
The
you guys
TV
must not be
shows?
Star
the
Wars
TV
guys.
show. The TV show.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
TV
Yeah.
special.
I don't remember the Christmas one.
There was Star Wars the movies,
Yeah.
but there was like in 1979 there was a Christmas special that aired on TV
Oh, I don't remember that.
that included who was the Golden Girls there, the tall one.
Maud,
Arthur?
the one that played
Arthur.
Maud.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
She was in it.
Really?
Oh yeah, there was disco music in it. It was a total f up in all of the crew, all of the stars of the movie. It showed the Chewbacca's family. It was a horrible thing, and all of the
Chewbacca's
everybody
family.
was forced to do it contractually. It's something that
You saying Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Live
Oh,
action.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know, I've never watched a single Star Wars movie ever.
That's wrong.
That's interesting, Phil.
Yeah, that
what about
is.
you, Jay?
I've
I
seen
don't
them all.
see you guys as Star Wars guys.
I've never seen one.
I have.
How the frig did you?
I know my wife and
You're
kids always.
culturally
Yeah, I
not
know.
up to speed, Phil.
Yeah, I know.
They're great. It's an American thing to do.
I've never seen a single one.
That means, Phil, that they came out in 77. So that means for the past 40 years, you haven't really known what everybody's been talking about.
Not a clue. No.
Maybe we should have started here.
No, yeah.
Actually, Jesus.
God, no, I've never seen one. My wife gives me a hard time. Everybody does.
Wasn't a big franchise and barely,
No, I didn't.
seeped.
I didn't
No.
see it succeeding, so I figured I'm not jumping on this bandwagon.
It barely seeped into the culture at all. It's not. Who's that guy who goes? Couldn't tell you.
Cheesy costumes.
Lance Armstrong.
What did you say when people said, "Luke, you are my
Yeah.
father"?
Well, I know
I am your father.
I know the iconic. I know the iconic things about it. You know, like the Luke, I'm your father, and then the what's the other one? I thought there was another line.
Yeah,
No,
that
there's
was like-
none. It's none.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Never got off the ground. Yeah, that's. I'm not proud of it. One of these days, maybe some stormy
Yeah, you should.
weekend, I'll sit down and. You
The
know,
question is, do you do 3, 4, 5 first, and they go to 1, 2, 3?
No, at this point, let's keep this experiment going. I want to see because you got to think that
Now it's a source of you
began to split from society in '77 subtly.
I veered off.
Yeah, now
Something went horribly wrong around 77. Yeah. I will. I'll make an effort one of these days to watch it.
Wouldn't it be a horrible, ironic thing if during the last weekend you actually watched all three?
Yeah, all episodes.
I kind of know what you're talking about.
Why does that sound familiar?
Kind of weird taste of my mouth of licorice Jaeger when you mention Chewbacca. I don't know.
Jesus.
I will watch it, and I'll give you a review, and I'll let you know how it does. 2 thumbs up or whatever it is.
Well, so here's the thing. So now that you'd watch it now, it would be the worst special effects that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Whereas when the world watched it when we were supposed to, Phil,
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
it was nothing like it. It was the best special effects ever.
So it doesn't age. So if you watch the original ones, does it age well? No.
Not really.
No. Not at all.
Because there's some old movies, man, that age really well, like 20 or 30 years later, where you can watch it and still say, wow, that's great.
You
Like
like,
Star Wars, no?
Not Star Wars. No, definitely not.
Okay.
You mean like for example, what's the one with you know what? Go ahead and skip. I pass.
Godfather, no?
No.
No. I mean, The Godfather, obviously, because those are in a certain time. Those are
Yeah,
period
that's
pieces,
true,
I
too.
guess,
Yeah.
whatever. And so those
talking
would
like
age well.
space and
And those
explosions
actually
and stuff.
those are done on beautiful film or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Like Jaws, that doesn't age
so
well.
what
right?
else haven't you seen, Phil?
Have you seen Jaws?
I've seen Jaws.
All right.
You've seen Jaws. That happens in the water. That makes sense.
Well, he was interested in marine biology, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yes.
No, I wouldn't say that ages well, either, right?
No,
If
I
you
mean,
watch it now,
the shark looks like a giant.
Yeah.
I mean,
a barrel with
it does.
with a gray blanket over it.
Still an awesome movie.
It
though.
is.
I keep wondering if I should ask Will. I mean, if Will should see it at 8 years old. I know I saw it when it
Yeah.
came out, scared the life out of me.
Yeah.
But I still went in the ocean. I think today, though, kids see it that early, they probably never step foot within a few
So
feet.
anyone over the age of 40, right? When they're in the water, deep water, and your feet are just kind of dangling there, that comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Of course. Oh, the other movie that doesn't fare well with time, I saw recently, Friday the 13th, the first one. Oh my
doesn't?
God, what
It doesn't?
a poor movie that is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, and the special effects and... although, you know, it seems like they did one of the first times where they had the villain or the monster as the camera, you know, like...
yeah.
like a movie in the
first-person
woods.
point of view
It
or
might have
something like
been
that?
the first time they did that was pretty cool, but other than that, it did not...
Well, it gets better once he takes Manhattan.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? Is that that's Jason, right?
I don't...
I think that's
Wasn't that
Jason.
interesting? That for a lot of us, and probably me, the first time you saw vicious, brutal murder was also the first time you were seeing nudity and sex.
Yeah, that would be.
Like Friday the 13th had both of those
Yes.
things.
Yeah,
That's
that was.
correct.
Yeah.
Well, I think Animal House was my first sex movie.
Was there?
I think it was 1982.
Animals came out
Cable.
before that.
Grandparents' house.
Oh,
Cable. Yeah. Right.
When Cable first came out.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny. We just had in my other job, we had somebody on who was talking to us about the guy who worked on Hot Dog.
Oh,
movie.
is that the ski movie?
The ski movie, which
Oh,
was,
man.
fantastic.
was an important movie for men our age.
Is Ron Howard's brother in that one? The ball guy there?
Possibly.
know.
But what,
I know which movie you're talking about, though.
Real
That's-
skiers in that, and one of them was this guy who really does stuff on this slope.
Oh,
He's
yeah?
happy to. And we had this very nice person on the air talking about it, saying, "Oh yeah, and you should talk to him. You can talk to him all about making the movies." Like, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be talking about the same things. That was
one of a lot of...
That's also going back to the internet. Remember, that's how we had to see naked women. An awesome movie.
That's right.
That was
80s.
usually a crappy movie, like
That's right.
Porky's.
Better Off Dead.
Or if you could get somebody to get a
Porky's.
Playboy magazine.
No,
Yeah, that's
no. What you did is you got the
What you did.
channels that were scrambled, and you had to adjust your eyesight just
Well,
right
by that
to
time
see
we were
anything between the
spoiled.
scrambling.
But that's a little later. But before that, just think like now, any young person can immediately
Oh yeah, I know.
get any beautiful woman on his phone that looks better than any woman they'd ever see.
Oh,
and
yeah.
get to see. I mean, there's no.
Anything is available online.
There's a side note that's why men are better at, you know, those pictures that you stare through and see the picture within the, you know, you have to focus. That's why men are better at it than women.
From years of watching,
Scrambled
Cinemax. So there are some of those channels weren't bad.
No.
I mean, yeah,
You can actually see like a side thing.
What do they used to call it? Skinamax, right?
Cinemax, yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. But before, I mean, even before that, but
We didn't have. I don't think we ever had. We didn't have cable. I think it must.
No.
So a lot of people think that is, then there are movements now where guys will not go onto those websites because they think that it totally changes your development as young men, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was a time when you would have to, if you ever wanted to see that stuff in person at all,
yeah.
where you would have to learn social skills. To say hello to somebody, to have a
exactly,
work up a good line, to be charming, to work your way up to having a cup of coffee, to then getting a date, and then treat a woman nicely, and all this stuff, all these different skills, and then learn to get rejected and go back and try again and get rejected. All these skills.
Because their first instinct, probably when they meet somebody, is to swipe left or right, right?
Well, now
try to push them to the left or push them to the right.
Yeah, now it's all set transactionally with an app. You can I guess I'm going to hook up. We'll see you guys later. We've already done it. We're already good. Or else she gets a 5-star rating. I don't even know how it works.
And she takes PayPal, so it's good.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that you will be, unless you were forced to go develop those social skills. And kids are getting men are remaining single much later now.
Yeah,
much later.
Indeed.
Yeah,
and on that note, there is a show on. I think it's on Netflix. It's so compelling about technology and where we're heading and what it could be like. It's like a Twilight Zone called Broken Mirror. If you ever had a chance, watch it. It is absolutely freaky about what could happen. And we're talking about swiping left, swiping right, people walking around with ratings and things like that. And if you don't have a 5-star rating, then you're not invited to the big party. I mean, there's all kinds. It's just a crazy series.
Well, that's the problem, the challenge now, right? Because before you used to be able to control what your kids saw and did, and now it's easily accessible, right?
Yeah, and they can see anything.
Anything.
There was, I remember when we were a kid, when we were like 9 years old, a cat got hit by a car near a street next to us, and we all were walking over there and like saw this cat. It was all his guts are all over the place, and he was still alive, and it was barely. And we were like, it's always 10 years. We were like, oh Jesus, that's disgusting. And that cat thing like always stayed with us. Like, man, that was a day. That was a day. 1984, April 3rd, whatever. It was like, holy God. Now kids can just see this stuff constantly. Everything is available.
Yep.
The worst in
you know where it started? Remember, and this was probably 80s too. Remember Faces of Death?
Oh yeah, I do remember
yes.
that. Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
That was
like the start, right? People would rent a copy of Faces of Death, right? That's stuff that VHS. No one would ever be able to see, right?
Oh yeah.
But now you can do that, and you can see that worse. And
there are websites of all that.
Waffle, crazy.
Oh yeah, that was. I tell you, man, Phil. I'm happy you mentioned Faces of Death.
Yeah,
we had 5 dudes over in 1986.
Watching that.
We all watched that, and we left. Different people.
What a downer it is to watch something like that at a party, right?
I wish I didn't see that.
Yeah, we were like, man, innocence is gone. You can just walk outside and suddenly get a lug wrench through the skull and be brained. And this creepy guy will say, life is unpredictable. It was weird. Remember them having the guy jump, the suicide jumper? And everybody saying, jump.
Come on,
awful stuff to watch that people shouldn't see.
And then we were still so vile that at the end, remember, it ended with one of them ended with a sexual.
Oh, I don't know.
So they killed somebody and then.
Narcolepsy
really?
or whatever. Not narcolepsy, but
no. So it ended up with a bloody orgy, I think you would say.
Oh, one of those tapes.
Yeah, the first one.
Really?
Yeah, and of course we thought.
It's a tough
any port in the storm,
But is it? Don't you think that's really a bizarre thing to watch at a party? Which I think is where I saw it at some party where someone threw it in.
But if you're like 14-year-old boys, that's exactly the kind of thing they'd go for.
Yeah. All right, everyone goes home kind of like, all right, see you guys.
Thanks for
having us. I guess.
Everything is different now. I have a 1,000-yard stare, and
That's terrible. You got PTSD after a party.
maybe we should have done the arcade. Maybe.
So I would argue that was like the start of the access to stuff that's inappropriate.
Yeah, but and that was bad enough. But now they have it. It's all
You
right
can do
there.
that, and worse, kids can bring it up on their phone.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, huh?
Instant access.
Scary,
Everything.
challenging.
I still go to the encyclopedias for information about everything.
The problem is
when we're at a party and I have to back up something, I don't go to my phone. I actually go to my library and get an encyclopedia.
So let's say all the phones die. There's a pulse bomb or something that kills all the phones immediately.
very
I wouldn't.
Not only are you're going to have to use where all the knowledge is gone.
Microfiche. Yeah.
So not only will you have to use encyclopedias, but it pretty much ends around 1992.
Yeah.
Well, they all went out of business.
Yeah, that's right.
I would probably have to go and buy a phone book and look up my brother's number
Yeah.
and my father's number because I don't think I know them.
I know.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. I
don't know them.
Right.
Yeah.
I know my childhood phone number. I don't know my brother's.
Not gonna help you
I don't
now.
know my family's. Yeah, I know.
And if you're like, we got lost when we were into Hermit Island, we took one road up somewhere and ended up in these like where these like little fingers of Maine kind of stick into the ocean.
Yeah.
And we were, lost, but we had Waze. But if not Waze, then we had no atlas. Even if we had an atlas,
You
we don't
remember
know
what
where
we
we
did?
were.
You remember what we did? We used to have a general atlas in a car, and then we used to go to a gas station and get a local map. Do you remember what?
Oh,
we did?
yes.
A long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I was thinking about that the other day. And then follow the roads because
Yeah.
you go generally where you're going, and then you stop at a gas station. Those are the days.
Hey, you're gonna lose that
know.
the skill of reading a map.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
That's important in any geography at all. And I get angry. Even people I'm married to have not.
People.
Yes, have not noticed.
That's plural, right?
It is.
Okay.
Like they don't know the
name
way
what's wrong.
around. They don't know the way around like Boston and things like that. How could you not?
Yeah.
No. Why wouldn't you? You grew up around here. I lived in Boston, but also why wouldn't you have lived in Boston? I don't get people like, where should I meet? Where do we get? It's crazy, especially a town like this is a tough
tiny
town to
town,
drive in.
yeah.
You've got to learn, but the skill set.
Yeah.
People
Changing.
People don't.
Yeah.
And I still, thankfully, fewer people ask directions now that there are all these other ways to get it. But
we're not disgruntled older people who doesn't like technology and progress. I mean, I think some of it is also.
No, it's
great
necessary evil, right?
Yeah, I guess that's the way it's going to be. Our parents did the same thing, right? Said the same thing. Probably having the same conversation.
well, yeah, there were concerns immediately about TV, and there were concerns about the telephone.
Yeah.
About the telephone rings and it breaks up the family structure.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, did your family eat together? Do y'all eat together?
Yeah. We used to always eat together. Yeah.
Until
Well, that's you guys growing up.
Yeah.
But what about your?
No, not as much now. On weekends, maybe.
yeah.
Right.
But during the week, it's free for all.
I know.
Right. Yeah. Same here. And
That's
we
a
don't.
sad. That's a sad thing that's gone.
Yeah.
The family meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try to. We do it at least maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
It's the weekend is.
Yeah.
But really, when do you see big dinners and
Yeah.
it's rare, rarer, I should say.
Yeah. I know.
More rare.
Yeah, and now it's tougher because people's hours are tougher. The nuclear family is not possible for most people. With life, it's too expensive. The dollar doesn't go as far. Sometimes 2 people have to work. That's the worst. When we had kids and Alice was working too, that was the worst because we.
Oh yeah.
You never saw each other, and we were both missing the kids, and we had to sitters all day. It was
Does she work? Does she work now?
no,
Oh, that's good.
but she
that's
wants to.
Yeah.
She's 4 weeks away from having their 4th child.
So.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right. It's
I mean, I have her mowing the lawn and things,
Changing oil.
roof work, but under the table stuff.
My wife worked 3 days a week when we had kids, and I have to say there was some value in having my kids go to it wasn't a factory daycare thing. It was a woman who we knew that took care of kids, and there was value to learning, like social skills with other kids. And,
I agree with you. I agree with you there, and
especially
also,
if it's a good place.
yeah, we went. Yeah, we went. One of ours we sent ours to got shut down, but it was cheap and she was flexible. She just smoked all the time, and the kids came home smelling like smoke.
Did
but it was fun.
was it a van?
Yes. And do you know the guy?
I believe it's the same guy that did my colonoscopy not too long ago.
Good Lord.
You never got any results though from him, Phil. It was
No. He keeps asking me for follow-up appointments. I don't understand. I don't understand the follow-up appointments.
Is it usual that you handcuff somebody during this procedure, sir? Is it?
Where do I put my pants? Over there next to mine.
Jeez, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So what's your next step, Phil? Or do you have a next step?
No, nothing.
He's going to have lunch?
Yeah, well, we're going to go down and look at the flooding.
The
flooding's happening.
We're going to look
now.
at the mayhem there down the road there. That'll be interesting.
I think he meant in life.
Yeah.
No, I have kids that are going to college, so that's a...
Oh, so you're locked into the working for a while.
For a little bit, yeah. My oldest is a sophomore. Mm-hmm. I have a junior in high school, so she'll be going pretty soon. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty big nut to pay every year.
Yeah. Jesus, I can't even
Especially
imagine.
when you don't get any money from the state and all that stuff.
Oh, they don't have scholarships or anything?
Not much. Yeah. Not much.
I figure the Title IX stuff you could...
Terrible.
Really?
Yeah, I thought being in a math... She's in math.
Yeah.
Getting a degree in math and education. And I thought math would get her something, but nothing. Nothing.
Oh, that is tough.
Yeah,
that is tough.
so...
But, you don't want to stop working anyway, right?
Nah.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait till I do.
50's not old.
You have some plans, though, don't you? You're going to downsize?
No, I'd like between 5 and 9 years be done, right?
Yeah.
Before 60 would be nice.
Yeah. And the surfboard stuff, you're making your own surfboards?
Yeah, that'll be something to
You can
do
see
afterwards.
It on Instagram. Yeah.
On the gram. It's the gram, not Instagram.
Oh, not
Where can people find it?
Well, Twitter @SlyMongoose
Okay, good.
I post stuff up there.
You just finished one right recently? And you have a longboard that you're working on?
My son Nick's, yep.
So
The best one yet. The nicest
when
one
did you
yet.
decide this is not an easy, you could just, cut glass for what? You
do
pick something
birdhouses
hard.
or...
Why do you think you do this?
Because my kids wanted one.
Oh.
And when I looked at them and saw that they were $800, I said, maybe we can figure out another way to do this.
Well, the boards that you make are fantastic.
It's fun to do.
Yeah, no, I've actually made one.
Is there money
with
to be made? Can you make money?
I don't know. I don't think so.
a lot of competition too, right?
And it's not like a big niche, right?
Yeah,
It's a small circle of people that do it. Well, small. It's not as small as people would think, because if you go down the beach at any given day where there's some good waves, there's tons of people out there. But
there is about a $200 to $300 margin on every board that he makes.
Jesus.
Which is a pretty big, significant profit.
Let's churn these out. Let's go.
If you can sell them, though. If you can sell them,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm still learning.
There's a lot of man hours, too, and he's still learning.
It's not. Yeah, it's something to do right afterwards, right? When you retire, what are you going to do? You can't sit down and watch TV, right?
No, man, it's the quickest way to die, I think.
Jerome, when he's old and gray and retired, will probably do some furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't get that talent, so I'll shave some foam and make some surfboards.
It's somewhat the same talent, right? I mean, it's still working with your hands,
still working your hands,
craftsmanship. Jeez, tough time today. All right, anything else we need to hit here today, or should we just continue to next time?
I am making some appearances if I can plug those.
Please do.
With UPS, I'll be on 58 Main Street all the way to 138 Main Street. 63 Main Street, I'm going to get a signature, so I'll be there for a little while, and then I'll move on to Havel Street from there.
Nice. It'll just be a big brown blur.
On Monday, yeah.
All right, this is the I Shoulda Did More Reading podcast. I shoulda did more reading.com, and follow us and all the other stuff. I don't want to say it. Nick's going to hear me say it in an uncool way, and he's going to ridicule and mock me like his sister did to Jay earlier. I shoulda did more reading.com. We'll see you.